Hello, Benue.
Yes, I'm here. I'm trying to put on my slide. Okay, good morning. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Dev.
Yeah, go ahead, Benue. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to thank you very much for this special privilege to do a brief presentation this time. My name is David Tekra Yaku, Innovation Bed participant from Benue State. In Benue State, I am also the secretary of Nigeria Computer Society in Benue State. And I'll be presenting this hour on the smart farming, the automated and connected agriculture as innovative solutions to solving poverty and hunger in Benue State and Nigeria at large. Now, there is rising population, human population, and at the same time, there's rising poverty and hunger. Now, you will notice that this calls for urgent and correct steps to be taken to end poverty and hunger. And by that, helping to achieve SDG goals 1, which is ending poverty, and SDG goal 2, which is ending hunger, as the United Nations have said and adopted by Nigeria and Benue. Now, just some brief statistics over there. Global population stands at about 7.8 billion, approximately 8 billion. And that also tells us how many beds we have in a day, roughly, deaths and population growth. In the same vein, we know that Nigeria is number 7 on the population map of the world. We also know that by visual forecast, looking at the websites that we have on top of the slides there, it means that by 2035, Nigeria will be at 290 million in population, and then by 2050, about 400, which will almost surpass even the population of the USA. Now, uh, that being said, we also know that globally there are about 7 million people who live in poverty. But beyond that, if you come back to Nigeria, you will notice that out of Nigeria's population of about 200 million, you have about 105 million who are in extreme poverty, not just poverty, extreme poverty. Now, looking at that again, you will notice that if you look at the top of my slide, there's a red mark there. It shows you that the ages of 0 to 24, which represent our future, our children and youths, are the ones who are mostly affected by the poverty indices, which shows about 67 million out of the 200 population that we talked about earlier, right? Now, going further, you will notice that looking at the way population is growing, looking at the need to end hunger and poverty, looking at the group that is affected by the level of the extreme poverty, it just tells us that we cannot continue doing agriculture the brick and mortar way in order to end poverty and hunger. So, but we also know that agriculture has the capacity to help end poverty and hunger in Nigeria and Benue in particular, but it must be done with the future in mind, the future of poverty and population, as I mentioned earlier. In Benue, we know that most farmers live mostly in the rural areas, and they have limited access to urban amenities. They also have limited access to the other things that people in the urban or international communities have. Now, I want to say that the smart cities and communities will enable rural linkage to urban and international markets for these farmers who live in the rural areas and are underserved. Now, how is agriculture done using the brick and mortar way? We know that majority of farmers live in the rural areas, as I mentioned earlier, and they have limitations. And number 2, farmers use cruel method of farming, cultivation, tilling, and planting, and the others. There is insufficient or inadequate or very poor data collection on performance of crops, climate and weather conditions, soil nutrients, disease outbreak, animal movement and location, animal health, stress levels, and so on. Also in Benue, uh, we've had this consistent and continuous clashes between farmers and herders, which affects the entire agri ecosystem. There are also issues of post-harvest losses and inefficient marketing system or channels for agri produce. We also have lack of proper security for managing large farms. Now, today I will be advocating that digital innovations in agriculture be adopted, which could also cause smart farming in order to help bridge the gaps and also deliver on SDG goals 1 and 2. Smart farming, as we know, is the use of information technology to increase the quality of agri produce while optimizing human labor required, making use of minimal human intervention. This also means that by adopting smart farming, we're moving away from the brick and mortar method of farming to the digital enterprise stage on the digital firms innovation map. Also, it also may be seen as high smartness dimension on the fourth dimension of a digital enterprise. In addition, adoption of digital farming is capable of serving underserved communities, as I had earlier mentioned about the gap between the rural farmers and the urban dwellers. Now, technologies that are used for smart farming include sensors, which are used for testing for soil type and nutrients, water levels, light humidity, temperature, and other climate conditions. There are also connectivity technologies that are used for telecommunications and cellular networks, location tracing using for autonomous self-driving tractors, planters, and other facilities. And of course, the issue of big data and agri-commerce. Now, all of these that have been mentioned can be powered by the concept of smart cities and communities, which I have talked about linking rural and urban communities for itself. And then artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain. Now, there are some proposals I have, and I also later mention what some steps I was taking in Benue. For manual cultivation, tilling, planting, and harvesting of crops, as well as lack of proper security for using large farms. Artificial intelligence robotics will be adopted for use. And for inefficient, inadequate, or even poor data collection and performance of crops, like climate and weather conditions, soil nutrients, disease outbreak, and other factors. Sensor quickly to say that recently in Benue, there was this outbreak uh, failure of maize plantation. Several farmers complain that their maize plantations fail. And most of them discovered that because they didn't get data early enough. And so the sensors can be used. Also, location tracing using GPS and satellites for animal movement and location, animal health stress levels, and so on. Also, continuous clashes between farmers and herders, which affects the ecosystem as a result of the movement of animals and farmers. Also, another one is the e-commerce, online marketing channel communities and the urban communities. What we are working on presently is real-time monitoring of animal location and movement with the aim of restricting encroachment into farmlands, thereby solving the problem of clashes with farmers. Now, in Benue, what the government has done was to pass a law and then get people who enforce the law. But we cannot keep deploying more and more of human manpower to solve these problems. Now, if we have a technology as we're working on it to be able to trace these animals, we'll be able to know when there's encroachment and resources can be deployed in good time and efficiently. Second, it is also a way of proactively and in real-time identification or notification when cattle seems to be moving outside a virtual fence, which may be a suspected rustling crime and quickly located and stopped. Another issue that have led to the crisis was the allegations and issues of rustling. And so very often cattle is rusting, but people don't get to know where it has moved to. With this technology or project that we're working on can help to precisely tell where the cattle is, where it is being taken, and the resources can be deployed to rescue. I have just a symbol of one of the neckties that we're working on that can be put on animals to create the visual fence that I spoke about. The second case that we're working on is that of sensors, which it's for soil type and nutrients, water, light, humidity, temperature, and other climate conditions. Now, this which will help guide what type of crop will be planted without just assumptions, and to also avoid unnecessary use of fertilizers. We know that Benue is located in a trough where there's a river, and so by just common sense, we know that things get to nutrients and other stuff gets to flow towards riverline areas. And so farmers get to use fertilizers, but some just don't use it out of good knowledge. So we're expecting that farmers shouldn't just use fertilizers anyhow. More so that fertilizers are not very much applicated. So we're thinking we should be able to tell exactly what soil type is here, what plant can do well better there, what nutrients are needed per particular kind of crop. And we know that recently there have been experiments on planting cucumbers and several other crops that before now were thought that couldn't be planted. And so with this, we could discover that there will be no limitation to how many more crops can be produced in Benue. Also, to help monitor temperature levels and changes in storehouses, the issue of food is produced, but when installed, things we identified were that temperature levels in such storehouses and the real-time monitoring of such temperatures, we should be able to quickly step in and solve that threatening to these crops. The third case is the agri-e-commerce. Now, Benue State produces in large quantities yams, rice, beans, cassava, sweet potatoes, maize, soya beans, sorghum, millet, and the likes, as you can see. The state is the largest producer of yams in West Africa, with a popular Zaki yam market. You can Google that up, and also accounts for over 70% of Nigeria's soybean production. The University of Agriculture earlier did research and discovered that Benue soybean is one of the richest and we have high grade in Nigeria. And other produce include oranges, mangoes. I'm sure you must have heard about the Benue oranges and Benue mangoes. They are delights everywhere in Nigeria, which are all ended all over. Tomatoes, pepper, and so on. But the challenge is that these products are not well marketed. Now, it is for want of time, but I had a video about Zaki Yam market I would have loved to share, but maybe now I won't be able to do that. Now, there are a lot of produce, but the visibility is not very good. So we are thinking of effect developing. These three things I mentioned are being worked on. So we are developing an app presently which will connect the rural dwellers with the urban and even international markets. And we are hoping that this will improve the economy, this will bring in foreign exchange, this will add to the GDP and help make the Benue rural man's life better. All right. So just before I round up, let me say that with the proposals and the cases that Benue is working on, we believe that we should be able to achieve and contribute to ending poverty and hunger, which are the goal one or two of the SDGs. Thank you very much for giving me that time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yako David from Benue State. I must say I must say that this does not look like a mid-program presentation from what I've seen, but then is to say that there's quite so much we can all do by the end of the program. I'm sure Professor Amjad promised all of you, going forward, it won't be English speaking anymore. It will be practical gaming on issues of economy development. So you guys should be set. So, Prof, what do you think, sir?
I think this is excellent. Actually, I wanted to mention. I wanted to get the presentation slides from David, you and John and Yusuf. Every one of you have presented very good ideas. So please send me a copy of your slides. Okay, we can
Very well.
use that.
Great, great. No problem.
Look,
No problem.
guys, you already have projects in mind. So you're making progress.
Yes,
There's no need to
yes.
invent a new project. You already have the projects,
Excellent.
and we'll put them into this lab,
Excellent.
and so that you can collaborate with each other and other ones. My work is done. Thank you very much.
Great. Dr. Daniela, I saw your window. It's like you're also unsettled. How far?
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Great.
Hello. I'm here.
Yeah. Great. So I'm sure you can see what is happening. All right. Okay. So thank you very much. So we'll move into the next. We'll move into the next phase of the projects. I'm sure Dr. Daniela, you and I will panel the rest of them. Now we're going. Moses to also be on standby. That we want to look at the next set of presentations. I think I'm in the house.
Yeah.
We have let's take Shitu. The general manager for LASMA has not gotten in, but we still spoke till very late yesterday on this. Even when we actually mentioned this program with the community, that I was invited to share an idea which was like a Youth National Day. Now, take for instance, the NSAS protest in Nigeria is now sending signals to top leadership in the country. So yesterday, there's a particular local government in Nigeria called Onigbombo LCDA. The chairman is now interested. He wants to engage the youth. He actually wants to see how he can be empowered. And I told them there are three things. First, go work on your leadership quality. If you go do what ICT for Six promises all leaders in the country, perhaps you would have evaluated yourself as quality community leaders. Not until you attain that quality, you may not be able to build the kind of community economy that can empower any one single youth in Nigeria. Leaders need to know that they need to go brush up their responsibility and knowledge around strategic planning before they can actually spend in Nigerian naira. Then they can actually ensure they can be trusted with the resources of the community, no matter how small or big it is, that they are actually in very good, effective leadership, and that the economy can be trusted, and they are actually very responsible. Not until after that, they can now say that they want to empower a youth. Empowerment should not remain as a political item on their manifestos. It's been so in several generations, and I think it should be a fresh paradigm with what Innovationbed is doing in Nigeria. They should sort out their leadership issues. They have to be responsible. They need to show that they have quality community economy before they can promise change, before they can promise empowering a youth. Because the youth you're empowering are already very knowledgeable. And if you give them that level of empowerment, quite frankly, they will double their efforts in 100-folds, and the economy will be back to the citizens to enjoy. So I was very particularly happy with that last set of presenters. I want to pick on Mr. Shitu to give us something in transportation, mobility. Shitu from Ogun State.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Olubinga Joseph Shitu, and I will be talking about smart traffic, because I believe if you make traffic management smarter, functional and more efficient, we will be able to achieve a smart city. There is no smart city without smart mobility. So, I'm Olugbenga Joseph Shitu, a participant of UNICT for Seeds, and I'm representing Ogun State. I happen to be the founder of Voice Real Limited. Voice Real Limited, we have Nigeria. Or the why should traffic be smarter? Okay, I need to take some of these things away. Okay, good. So why should traffic be smarter? Research have actually shown that there is direct correlation between traffic management and traffic congestion in traffic congestion, or improving citizens' efficiency and also the state earnings. So the aim of traffic and the safety of the citizens. Also, we want a situation whereby we can efficiently manage criminal activities or traffic offenses. Because of the Nigerian factor, I know Nigerians, all of us that are in-house, we understand why this number 4 is very important. Bribery and corrupt by 50 naira instead of paying $100. Don't worry, just will actually help to reduce or eliminate such issue. So now this is the architectural platform of how this system will work, that it's controlling vehicles here and there, but with sensors fitted here and there where the traffic light is. And so this can remotely the control room using the data that is coming from the traffic light can also disseminate notifications in informations. First of all, we should know that this control room will also be integrated with other government agencies databases like the National Identification Number database, the Vehicle License Information database, the Driver's License database, police database of lost and reported vehicles, and every other databases that will be necessary to integrate with. So it gets these informations from it gets the current informations that is agencies already have. Now it processes the data notification via an app, mobile application, an SMS or email to another group of another component, which is vehicle owners. And the vehicle owners in this case also via the mobile application or the website or anything can also, update few information like vehicle like the number that are used for their notifications, things like the lose their